Good evening. I'd like to thank you all for coming out here tonight for the opportunity I have to talk to you about a few things. I want to ask you a question. Are your employees happy? Think about that answer for a couple minutes. Since the beginning of time when Og asked Mog to take Tog something simple in return for something simple, the employee-boss relationship has started. However, when Mog realized that he wasn't getting anything for taking something to Tog, employee dissatisfaction also started. Did you know that 71% of employees are dissatisfied with their jobs? From the biggest corporations to the smallest little stores like yours, employee dissatisfaction actually exists. Unhappy employees, low morale. So tonight, we're going to talk about building employee morale and making it click. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Why does employee morale matter? Well, employee morale actually affects the profits. So the more unhappy your employees are, the less money you make. The happier your employees are, the more money you make. Now, granted, you're probably not going to be as rich as, say, Bruce Wayne, but then again, you probably don't want to be Batman. I could be wrong. I don't know your personal lives. Maybe you do. But it all comes down to employee morale and happiness. Even here at Pooh's Corner, you have a few employees that actually have mentioned a few concerns and complaints. I've narrowed it down to the top 4. Technically 3, I threw the 4th one in because I promised them I'd mention it. So we'll get there. The first one, employee expectations. Next one we'll talk about is employee workspace. Third one we'll talk about is how stressed your employees are. And the 4th one is time off. Let's start with expectations. Now, certain employees feel like every so often they get so much stuff put on them with such a short deadline, they just can't seem to do it. There's some things we can do about this. If it's a big task, we can assign 1 or 2 people to it, or break it down into smaller groups. You know your employees better than I do, so you probably have your stronger employees. You give them the harder stuff. Your less strong employees, give them medium tasks. I don't want to make anything too simple for them because you actually did hire them for what they're able to do. But let's try to break it down a little bit. The easiest thing to do is just remember your employees are not superheroes. They're not going to fly around and fix things, shoot laser beams out of their eyes. They're just human beings, not even Clark Kent's. They're just plain old human beings. Just got to remember that. Just help them out a little bit, see if we can't just get them a little happier, a little more morale up in this little business of yours. Next, we're going to talk about workspace. Now, all the employees agree that this is mostly during peak seasons, holiday seasons, stuff like that, when they start getting a lot of inventory in. Every day they come in, and more of their workspace is occupied by Legos. And more Legos. And more Legos. Every day they come in, it seems their workplace is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. There's some simple things we can do about this. One of the ones that I like, is just demolish everything. Bring the bulldozers in, we'll just remodel from ground floor. But that might be a little expensive. But you can do some simpler things. We can do shelving or organizational units, little filing cabinet type of things, or little storage cubes. If possible, make the workspaces a little bit bigger during those times, if we work a little bit, we can probably fix this little problem and keep the employees' morale up. Next, we're going to talk about those employees that feel stressed. Again, most of this is probably during the holiday season. Where employees just start getting so much stuff, they start making mistakes. There's things we can do to alleviate this. Because it happens to management too. They all kind of get stressed a little bit, and it just trickles down to the employees. So as management, just take some deep breaths if you start to feel a little anxious or edgy. If one employee is starting to get on your nerves, Take a few deep breaths before you go and talk to them. You know, help the employees do the same thing. You can usually see if they're starting to get stressed a little bit. Help them breathe a little bit, just let them know it's okay, things happen. Don't make them scared to come to you. One of my favorite things, I've always enjoyed is casual Friday. Pick a Friday, where you can have them bring a teddy bear or dress in their pajamas. You just help them have a good time at work. That usually helps alleviate the stress quite a bit. The fourth one we're going to discuss, and I'm doing this because I promised them I would, is time off. Because some of your employees feel that they spend more time here than at home. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but let's just talk about a couple simple solutions for that. You can try a 4-day, 5-day work week. Schedule an employee for 4 days, give them a 3-day weekend, then 5 days, then 2 days. Maybe that'll help a little bit, If you want to just be evil and mean, we can do that too. Just be a pirate and say the floggings will continue until morale improves. It's up to you. Whatever your employees will respond better to. They might respond better to the breathing and taking it easy and the 4-day work weeks, a little more time off here and there. Because I just want you to remember, 71% of employees are dissatisfied, no matter how big or small a company is. So I think with just a little bit of efforts, we can keep the employees happy, keep the morale up. And happy employees and with great morale equals more money. And more money for a company is always a good thing. I want to thank you again for your time, for inviting me to do this. Have a nice evening.